Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I am very happy to introduce my guest for today. I am back with the very lovely, with the very talented Impact Wrestling's Knockouts champion, Mickie James. What's up, Mickie?
Oh, what's up? I'm so happy to see you again. I feel like we're talking all the time now.
I know, I love it. It makes me very happy, by the way. And it's funny too, because I was just thinking about this and I was like, I just talked with Mickie James. We talked December of last year, which really isn't that, long ago. It's really like a little bit over a month now, 2 months, but so much has happened with you, Mickie, where I'm just like, there is so much to catch up with you that I was just very excited when I got this interview to get to chat with you once again.
Oh, ditto. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been a crazy year so far
I know.
already.
And that's the thing. We were talking about this on our last interview where we're like, yeah, like everything's been so crazy for you. And then lo and behold, you're back, kind of in the news fold of things, really causing, not causing, but there's a lot of buzz. And so I'm going to go ahead and jump right into that. And that is the Royal Rumble. So you were one of the people that were announced to take part in the Rumble. And immediately you kind of broke Twitter there because everybody was like, what is the Impact Knockouts champion doing appearing in the WWE Royal Rumble? And on top of that, we kind of had your exit from the company, which we discussed in our last interview. So I think that this kind of was, very, very unexpected. So Mickie, with all of that being said, how did this come about for Impact and WWE to essentially have you come out to appear on the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, it's a real cool moment, right? Like, especially you think about the last time we talked, and it's like if you would have said, even back then or a couple months ago, hey, do you think you're ever going to go back? And I'm like, oh, probably not. Not because of a lack of desire, but just because of everything, how it kind of unfolded. And they reached out to Impact. Like Johnny pretty much called Scott directly on the phone to say, is this something that, would be okay? Would Impact be okay? Because obviously it's a different company, a corporation kind of thing. And then Scott reached out to me to ask me if I would be interested in being in the Rumble and what I'd want to do and how I felt about it. And then I was like, absolutely. And I was obviously very adamant about wanting to be Mickie James, hardcore country Mickie James, and to represent Impact. And I am the Knockouts champion. And obviously we presented all this to him, and this is kind of what I wanted. And I talked to Johnny, and he spoke to Vince, and it all happened. It was amazing.
That is really amazing. And I got to ask you because, you had no idea that obviously this was going to happen. And so, Impact Wrestling gets the call. They go and tell you. What's your reaction to this? Did you have any sort of a moment of hesitation where you were maybe like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do this? Or was it instantly where you're like, I want to do this?
It was instantly, yes, I want to do this. I think it was a perfect way to step away from the negativity of I just felt like it was unfortunate because I felt like I had a wonderful career in WWE, and I got to work with some amazing women, and this one thing kind of overshadowed all of it. And it was the one thing that people wanted to talk about. And it was almost like the one thing that people remembered. And there were so many magical moments that I felt like people should have remembered over that moment. And although it created a significant change, and I don't regret, putting the picture up and talking about it and being open about it and being honest about it. However, I do think that kind of overshadowed all this work that I had done, and it was unfair. It was unfair to me, and it was unfair to the girls that I've worked with, because I loved all of those matches for so many different reasons, but also to be the one to be able to come back in modern wrestling and to break down, that ceiling of a champion showing up on another, like the first time a championship is showed up that wasn't theirs or didn't belong to them. Like, that was monumental. And to do that for women's wrestling, which is always my first love, because that's what I am. It was awesome. It was so great. And it was just such a great moment. And I tried not to celebrate or get too emotional, but I was full of anxiety and emotions and excitement. And I just wanted to deliver, and I wanted to deliver for myself and for my fans. And I wanted it to go as perfectly as it could go. And it did. I really believe that. And I wanted to be able to represent Impact and the Knockouts Championship and the Knockouts World Championship and all the champions that have held this championship prior to me and the ones that are going to hold the belt after me, to know that now this could be a possibility when, in the fans' eyes, booking dream matches and those things seemed good on paper, but knew that they would never really happen in real life. You go, actually, it could happen because it's a possibility now, and that's amazing. That's amazing.
It's kind of like nothing is off limits, that sort of thing. I think it gives you a little bit more hope for like, hey, something that we never thought was possible is and can be possible. So I do have to ask, what was Impact Wrestling's reaction to getting the call that, hey, we want to, make this, work out?
I think there was excitement about it, and there was obviously, sorry, that's my.
Oh no, you're okay. Don't worry about it.
I don't know how to do that.
It happens to me all the time. Don't worry.
I tried to block it out before, and it keeps popping back up. I'm like, ooh.
You're like, turn off.
You computer. There's obviously, because in all things, everyone I think is a little bit apprehensive of like how they're going to be represented and make sure that everyone comes out looking great in the end. So obviously that, but I also think Impact has always been open to working with other companies as well. Like they worked with WWE in the past. They obviously were very open to working with NWA, and especially when it came to Empower, as to, we did weeks of buildup on Impact leading to Empower, which was amazing. So I feel like they're always open, and they worked with Ring of Honor and AEW and all this. So I think they're always open to that. They're always open to that idea. I think they found it like really like wild that WWE was reaching out to them to, to make this happen, because it was something that just hadn't happened in a long time. And I think even the last time that WWE and, I guess WWE did reach out to them, because it was for when Ric Flair went into the Hall of Fame, and then Christian Cage, and that, that whole story and stuff happened, was the last time for them. And I think we all knew that if it came off according to plan, that it was going to be remarkable, and it was going to be huge for everybody. And not just with everybody within WWE and Impact, but across the board, because now something that wasn't possible before is now possible. So, I think they were very excited. But obviously the end decision was on me, whether I wanted to do it or not, and I know a lot of people were probably like, oh, well, you should have just told them no. But I just didn't feel in my heart, that wasn't like my gut told me immediately, yes, because there's so much good to come out of it. There's more good to come out of it than me just going, oh no, I don't want to, like it didn't make any sense to me, because you have an opportunity to create history, to make history. And, I choose that every day over not.
When I saw the announcement, I think like immediately I knew that there was going to be people that are like, oh, she shouldn't have done it, et cetera, kind of going back to the incident that you referred to and all of that. But instantly, like just from like my perspective, when I saw the news, like based on what you're saying right now, that's kind of like the gut feeling that I had in terms of why you said yes to essentially, coming out and appearing. Because at the end of the day, like I think it was such an exciting moment, like for the fans. And, we're always talking about the Forbidden Door, but on top of that, you mentioned like, you have had a great run in WWE, and, you've done so much there that I feel like people can't necessarily just disregard that because, of one thing, etc. Right. But on top of that, this was the announcement was made on Friday, and then that weekend you had the Hard to Kill pay-per-view. So I kind of feel like it added more buzz on top of that, pay-per-view. So for you, how much do you think that this appearance helped out Impact Wrestling, helped out Hard to Kill, and helped out your match with Deonna Purrazzo?
It definitely, I think it helped out on all fronts. The one thing that I was a little bit apprehensive of, because it was originally, we had talked about it being a surprise at the Rumble. The only thing that I was apprehensive about with the announcement, because I felt like it was going to get, obviously there's always going to be people that kick back the other way, the negative feedback. And I do understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, I think it's just two different trains of thoughts and two different mentalities. In the sense of like, it's a very for me, I felt like it was a very childish and egoic way to look at it, to go like, no, I don't want to do this because my feelings are hurt. Whereas, okay, I could have done that and that was an ego decision and I would have had to live with that decision. And also I would have had to um, take accountability of the fact that I just blew my chance to make history and be the first person to do something in a very, very long time and to open this gateway and all these possibilities. So that was the decision in front of me, you know, and I will always like this business is bigger than my ego, and my love for this business is bigger than my ego, in the sense that this is groundbreaking for everyone to follow. And I've always wanted to make a positive change in the business no matter what. And this was an opportunity to do this. And if nothing else, this would be the last thing. If this was my last thing on WWE television, this would be the last thing they remembered, not the latter, you know? So
Exactly.
that was my reason. And if people can't understand that, then we just don't think alike, and that's okay. But we probably can't be friends because we don't think in the same vein. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. However, there's just been so much, and it's just I did understand that, and I saw the same kickback and the same kind of things. And even people go like, "Oh, well, you should have just told him no." And I'm like, "Why would for what? Why? What purpose does that serve?" Like, I prayed about having an opportunity to um, reclaim Mickie James and to put respect back on my name. And here was an opportunity. It was given to me on a silver platter, an opportunity to perhaps do that. Why would I turn that down when it was something I prayed for, you know? So I don't know. It's
Exactly. No, I completely get what you said. And I feel like it is so important to kind of mention that because, you mentioned kind of like hoping for an opportunity to sort of, claim things back on your own terms. And I
right.
feel like this was very, very much on your own terms. So that was really cool. So let's talk about the actual day. You're in St. Louis, Royal Rumble. You came out at number 20. You come out with the championship
Yeah.
and you make your way in there. What was the feeling like coming out? And also, what was your experience at the actual Rumble?
Oh my God, it was so good. So good. Before I get to that, I want to touch back. So because I don't think I ever actually said, my only apprehension about announcing it on the Friday was we already knew weeks in advance that not only that this Ultimate X match was happening for the first time ever, but we also knew that Deonna and I were going to be the main event for that pay-per-view. And I was a little worried that, people would it would trump the fact that we were going to be the main event, because it wasn't something that Impact promoted as we're making the women the main event, but more in the sense of it was the right thing to do because our story felt like the main event because of so much had went into it. And I just, I didn't want to take away from, because that was a huge monumental thing. It was the first time the Knockouts Championship had ever been the main event at an Impact pay-per-view. And so there was the one thing. So that was just my only like little thing for like Impact business and for the Knockouts Championship business. But however,
Did you
turned
know
out
that they were going to
amazing.
make the announcement on Friday night? Like, did you know it was coming on that Friday?
On Friday, when I was in town, I was in Dallas. I was actually looking for the guitar for the match. I had
Oh,
gone,
okay.
was at my second Guitar Center because the first one closed at 7:00 because people don't work, or it was
Yeah.
closed. I was like, what? I literally walked in the door at like 7:02 and they're like, we're closed. I'm like, but there's people here.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was driving around town trying to find the proper guitar, because my guitar that I had made, I was going to bring from home. I didn't have a proper case for it. So I had no way to transport it to Dallas. So I'd spent, I had this beautiful guitar that I was going to use. So I ended up having to buy a backup guitar, and I spent all night in my room decorating it and making it the hardcore country guitar.
That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
so awesome. So awesome.
Anyway, but to get to the day, I didn't celebrate. I couldn't in my mind, and maybe this is just crazy wrestler brain, but I had too many times of almost doing something and then it didn't happen, or almost debuting and then it didn't happen, or things change at the last minute. So I really did not celebrate even throughout the day. That people were like, "Oh, you're pretty super calm." I was keeping it calm and collected. I mean, even though my anxiety was through the roof. considering you're about to make history. But in my mind, I go like, well, anything could happen. I could get to Gorilla. They could play the wrong music. They could tell me I can't go out with the belt. I mean, anything could happen between now and the moment. And so it wasn't until in the moment that I think I truly let it free. Like I let it go and just was in it and just allowed myself to enjoy and relish the moment. Right. And then even after, now I can celebrate because it actually happened and it went down and it was awesome. But yeah, it was a lot, but I was so happy. I was emotional to be back because it was something I didn't think I would be back. It was emotional to be back in the locker room, and just it was such a good vibe, and everybody was so. I missed my girls, and it was good to see their faces again and hug their necks again, and just kind of be there and to do something so powerful, and it was really gratifying, and I don't think, even if I was to retire tomorrow, like that could be a button on my, like that could be the button on my career, and I would totally be happy because it was so powerful, and it's what I needed. I think I needed it for my for closure for my WWE career, whatever that looked like. I think I needed it for my soul, and to know that we all want to be made to feel like what we did mattered, and I was made to feel like I really truly walked away going, regardless of whatever people's opinions are, what I did from the company standpoint and from my family there, it did matter, so yeah.
That's just so awesome. So like, you're back there, you're in the locker room, you're getting to chat, not only do you have, the current talent there, but you also have, a lot of the, the divas that came in, the Hall of Famers that came in. You have a mixture of all of these different people. You got the Bellas, you got Ronda Rousey, you got all these people there, right? Lita, everybody. What was that all like to kind of get to catch up with everyone? What were the interactions and feedback like from, all your friends?
So fun. It was so fun. And I think everybody was very excited because I think everybody was kind of shocked that all this was going down. And, I was also shocked, equally shocked that it was even still happening. I was like, all leading up to it, I'm just waiting for the shoe to fall or whatever to go like, okay, something's going to go awry. And it didn't, but the girls, we love to have fun and we love our sisters. And I think just everyone being back and to see that and to share those moments with each other, because, we do come from all different generations, but we've crossed paths through different organizations and along the path all different ways. I was just really proud. I was proud because I personally think that the Women's Rumble was the best. And I'm not
It definitely was.
I'm not being biased. You guys know it. My personal favorite part of the Rumble was Ivory coming back as Right to Censor Ivory, because Right to Censor Ivory was my favorite version of Ivory, period. Like, it was so good in a world, in a time of divas and a time of sex sells and all the crazy things that were going on. She was so polarizing and different, and can I just say, seeing her backstage, I'm like, I need your life. I need that island life, because I don't know what you were doing, but she looks incredible and made history by being and I'm sure she's probably like, hey, don't say that, but as the oldest woman to ever compete in the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
Not that she looks it.
No, I didn't know. Legitimately, I did not know her age. And like, I don't want to, put it out there, but I legitimately did not know. I thought she was like, she just looks phenomenal.
Stunning, unbelievable. It's that stress-free island life. I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, seriously. I can't blame it. Sounds like a dream. So Mickie, I do have to ask you, do you think that there is going to be more opportunities like this, whether it be for you, whether it be for other people at Impact with WWE? Do you, like, just from your perspective, what do you think?
I think yes. I don't know that it will be immediately. I think that now this was an opportunity for WWE to test the water, to see if it was something, because until people talk and they say, oh, this would be great and this would get a lot of ratings or this would be a big buzz, but until it's actually in front of them, I think they can't actually see it because there's so much talent there, you know, and untapped talent that hasn't been seen yet. And obviously the priority is always to get their talent over and on time, and those make those stories matter. So this isn't a priority for them, but now that I feel like that they see the potential and how much the fans responded to it, the idea of it happening, you know, with the men or with the world championships or something like that. Now I feel like that at least the idea of that possibility and that door is open in the sense that that could be a thought, something that they go like, this might be a WrestleMania match further down the road if we do it right. This could be a cool thing. And if you look at other sports and from the UFC and boxing and stuff like that, it happens all the time. And it's obviously happened in wrestling, and it has been more prevalent recently to start happening, but never to this magnitude. And now it becomes a reality because, you know, some people only watch the product that they watch, and so they only see it in that version of it. And so now to see it as a possibility in WWE, which is the market leader, which is the pinnacle. No matter we all try, but it is, and so now to see it there, it makes it a viable option for all of us, and go like, yeah, actually, this really does work. And the people who have been doing it going like, yeah, it really does work. And now it's just cool. It's cool and it's different and it's unique, and then it doesn't hurt anybody. It only builds everybody up. So.
Exactly, exactly. And Mickie, do you have time for one more question? Because I do want to touch on No Surrender before we go.
Have to, because that's why
yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. So let's get into this because, as we mentioned, you know, you were matched at Hard to Kill. You know, you defeated Deonna Purrazzo, and was also a history-making thing with you guys defending the Knockouts Championship in the main event. That was a big deal. But on top of that,
this death match, which I had to mentally and psychologically prepare for, because if you've watched my body of work, you know that it's been a long time since I've had a hardcore match. It's not something that is in my forte, in my repertoire, that I just, you know, go out there and do all the time. I struggle with watching hardcore matches myself. I've had this conversation with Mick Foley. I really struggle to watch them because of the brutality of it. And it's so much that I'm just like, ooh, like, I know I watch Disney. It's fine. But it was a lot to prepare for that match, just to kind of get up to it, to do that type of Texas death match. I was very excited about it because it was a challenge that I hadn't done in a long time, but also terrified and not looking forward to the recovery time after.
Of course, but it's so wild because, like, you know, seeing you in that element, you kind of like, you're just like, you feel like a natural in that element. Like, it was such good stuff. You guys did so much where, like, I feel like you guys just really like laid it all out on the line, and that was so cool. And I did get to talk to Deonna about that match too. And, you know, one of the things that she credited you for was all of the, you know, the little storytelling aspect parts where, you know, you were like, let's do this. Let's make sure we include this in the match, etc. And then also kind of like that finale moment where you see all of those items stacked up on Deonna. It's kind of like you finally, you know, beat down, you know, the virtuosa. Her reign is done, and you know, you were the one to essentially end that for her. So all of that was just like really great to see.
I got chill bumps when I think about it, but I will, and I've said this openly, and I will continue to say this openly, like, Deonna and I are very different wrestlers, clearly, but we are equally passionate about the business and about what we do out there. And she is probably one of the greatest women I've ever been in the ring with, as far as like top to bottom, well-rounded all around. She's absolutely one of the best technical wrestlers out there, but she's just amazing. And an incredible knockouts champion, just an incredible wrestler. Story and the culmination and all the things I will never discredit, like her reign and her run and her talent and her ability. And it took a lot. And I feel like I even learned a lot from her because we are very different. Like, I'm not I know how to wrestle and technical wrestle, but that's not where, you know, Mickie James shined in her. Not that I can't do it, but that just didn't fit in the element of Mickie James as much. But it just, I think just leading up to it, and it was the perfect finale to this story of everything that had transpired from Empower, from me showing up for her to make her a part of that, with the match with Melina, which I thought was an absolutely incredible match, to then coming back and beating her at Bound for Glory, and everything that's transpired since. Like, it was just the perfect end result. It was the perfect ending to that story. And I have nothing but respect for her. Yeah, it was a crazy match. It was a crazy match, and it was fun, and it was challenging in a different way, because I don't do those types of matches all the time. And so to be able for us to put that together and build off of everything that we've done so far, and then but add to it and put a bookend on it the right way. Like, it was cool, and it was a cool moment to do it, and to be in the main event as the Knockouts champion, and with this match as the first time ever as the main event. It was awesome. It was so awesome. And I think I'll have to do more hardcore matches, maybe. I mean, it does say it in my tagline, hardcore country. So
yeah.
I don't know why I steer away from all. I'll tell you, it's the recovery time is why I steer away from it.
How are you feeling after that? Like, how are you feeling?
$1 billion.
Yes.
No, I feel good now, but I will say that it took a minute to feel good. It took like a whole week of recovery, I think.
God.
Like, it didn't hurt
can't even imagine
that much the next day. It was the day after that, and then the day after that, and then the day after that, where I was like, what is happening with my life? I just need to take a tub.
Yeah. Yes, and you deserved it. And it was just so cool, like everything that went into it. You guys had the hot feud, the hot story, hot match, main event, historic, all of the buzz surrounding, everything that went down the days prior. I think that just everything kind of, all the stars aligned, I think, so that, this feud, this story with you and Deonna Purrazzo really culminated in this very nice way. But also on that show, we also had another historic moment in which we had the first ever Knockouts Ultimate X match, in which Tasha Steelz won, and now you are essentially defending the Impact Knockouts Championship against Tasha Steelz at No Surrender, February 19th. Mickie, I want to get your thoughts on this match, your thoughts on Tasha Steelz, etc.
Well, I know Tasha has a lot of thoughts, and she's been very open about that, about expressing all of those thoughts as often as she can. So I appreciate that. No, we both made history that night. And I think, that should be said, is that she also made history that night. And all those girls, that match opened the show, and it was an incredible match. I sat back and watched it in awe, and I just knew everything that it took to make that match happen in the first place. And I know that all the women were out there to steal the show, that night. Like, it was a cool night, and it was a cool night for women's wrestling. It was a cool night for wrestling, period. But I think that, I've watched Tasha from afar, and because of my love for Kiera Hogan, her former tag team partner, that's one of the reasons. That's when I first saw Tasha. So I'd really seen her as a tag competitor up until Knockouts Knockdown, when I was doing the commentary with Veda Scott for there. And I even said then, I said, Tasha is a star. Like, this girl is a star. She checks all the boxes. And I hope she doesn't hear this interview, because I don't want her to hear me putting her over. However, she checks all the boxes. She's charismatic. She's a firecracker. She's explosive. She can talk, which the art of talking in wrestling is a lost art, to do it the right way. Like, she believes everything that she's saying. And she's very convincing, and she's sassy, and she's got bags of personality and charisma. She I think that she just checks every box, and she's absolutely championship material. She's proved that as being a tag champion. But I think now the Impact audience is now seeing her really for the first time as a singles competitor. There's the word. As a singles competitor, and as someone who's could be a viable champion. And this is a really great time for her, I think, because now she's stepping outside this box and to form her own ground as Tasha Steelz, the singles star. It's a huge opportunity for her. And obviously for her, I'm sure in her mind she's going like, if I'm trying to make the name Tasha Steelz and trying to stake my claim in the women's division and the knockouts division of who I am, who better than Mickie James to beat and to make my name from? But that is not going to happen. And I respect her and I appreciate it. And I appreciate her tenacity and her sass. I love it. I love a firecracker. I respect it, but she's not going to make a claim to her name on my name. That's for sure.
So I did talk with Tasha Steelz, I think it was last week. And one of the things that she mentioned to me in regards to your upcoming match, she said, one, that she wants this to be better than what you did with Deonna Purrazzo. She's going to bring everything that she essentially has, and she's going to bring it. She wants to become the first ever Afro-Latina Knockouts champion. And on top of this, she mentioned that you're going from one Jersey girl to another Jersey girl, so that she's definitely bringing it on that end too. And that she kind of mentioned a little competition between her and Deonna there as well.
Well, because I think that they have a very similar, they pretty much started in the same. They've reminded me of this, that they are sisters in arms from way back, because they both came from the same school in the same area and kind of trained kind of coming up together. So it's cool to see how their careers have paralleled in that. I'm sure that she believes every single one of those things. And I know that she's going to bring 1,000%, because this is an opportunity for her to really break out. And, you know, that would be amazing. I'm sure that she wants all of those things, and that would be incredible. That would absolutely be incredible. But I can tell you that she is going to achieve all of those goals, but she could achieve all of those goals, but one, and that is winning the Knockouts championship. Because I do not intend to let go of this thing anytime soon. I want to be able to represent Impact Wrestling. I want to represent this Knockouts championship for as long as I can against whomever wants to come at me, including Tasha. And obviously that is my feet in front of me right now. But I want her to bring everything she has, because I want the challenge, and I want to continue to prove everybody why I hopefully am the greatest wrestler of all time.
I love it, Mickie. Thank you so much.
There's a lot of greatness. Everybody wants to be the GOAT.
Yes. Mickie, you rock. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me and for staying on a couple of extra minutes. I feel like I can chat with you forever. Really, I can. But guys, do not forget to check out No Surrender, Mickie James versus Tasha Steelz, Impact Knockouts Championship on the line, February 19th. The links in the description will be in the description box below. Other than that, thank you so much, Mickie. Thank you to everybody watching. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.